And please welcome our speaker.
Thank you very much. Good morning, good afternoon, evening, everybody, whichever is appropriate for where you are. Thank you for taking your time to join me listening to the summary of what I was working with for about the 3 years of my life. My name is Dr. Mohamed Ali. Yes, that's my name. And I'm not associated with the boxer, even though I tried the sport. I just wasn't good at it. I am a senior IT engineer, engineering manager for the company here in Houston, Texas. And my study is mobile technology used by rural farmers and headers. Came about the nagging feeling I always have when I visit my home country of the United Republic of Tanzania, it's in East Africa. The luxury of communication technology are afforded to those who lived in major metropolitan areas. So if I want to visit rural parts of the country, always is a challenge just to make a regular phone call, let alone browsing with a smartphone for other things that we have been spoiled on around different areas. So that's what triggered me to look into the why, what, and how this is still a problem in this 21st century. While we see and learn that these rural areas are the economic backbone on the modern living as far as food, natural resources, and others. Next slide, please. Okay, so the problem statement. The general business problem is that some mobile technology business leaders, they fail to plan mobile technology infrastructure deployments to these rural farmers and headers. And that is resulting with the loss of revenue and profits. So that is what I went in with, trying to understand what the strategies, because that's what I saw it was lacking with these business leaders, is that strategy on how to expand this mobile technology to these rural areas. And my specific business problem was that mobile technology business leaders, they lack strategies to improve mobile technology infrastructure to rural farmers and headers. So that was the specific thing that I went with, because looking at just the mobile technology itself, I thought it's going to be a broader topic that it might be difficult to engage in. So, and the purpose of this, the qualitative multiple case study, yes, I had to go with a multiple case study because I was not going to settle in with just doing the single study. But an idea of exploring these strategies that mobile technology business leaders, they use to improve mobile technology infrastructures to these rural farmers and headers. And the targeted population consisted of, I picked 3 mobile technology business leaders from 3 different mobile technology organizations, which they had a successful mobile technology infrastructures, and especially on metropolitan areas, what strategies they use within the United Republic of Tanzania. So, and then the significance of the study is the technology industry leaders, they have to use these strategies, processes, and tools from this study to improve their strategic business approaches for improving mobile technology infrastructure for the rural farmers and headers in these developing countries, such as the United Republic of Tanzania, to increase business profitability. Because I saw that it is a major market, that why I was seeing that was the problem, because, and I didn't know why they're not expanding faster enough while the customers are there. And the theory of the framework of my study was I used the AST, adaptive structuration theory, is from Anton Giddens, introduced in 1979. The central concept of the theory is that the stakeholders may use it to examine the processes by which organizations set up their rules and regulations and utilize resources to accomplish goals and adjust or evolve to match within the industry. So I saw that theory, it kind of breaks down all the steps that I saw it was lacking with these mobile business leaders. Next slide, please. And also that the relevant of the topic was, of the object was the qualitative multiple case study. Like I said before, I wanted to reach as far as possible without getting off topic, to research on these strategies that these mobile business leaders, they use to improve the mobile technology infrastructure for the rural farmers and headers. And the mobile technology, because I know the mobile technology is a crucial variable in improving the technological infrastructure for rural farmers and headers. But the technological advancement in these specific areas, they require an alignment between the overall concept and the tasks to be inputted by with individual characteristics, differences, and backgrounds of people tasked with accomplishing the goals, because it was not just going to implement the technology itself. It has to align with the leaders that have to be behind implementation of those strategies, so they can go hand in hand to make the improvement of that mobile technology on those rural areas. Next slide, please. Okay, the specific research question was the strategies what strategies do mobile technology business leaders they use to improve the mobile technology infrastructure to the rural farmers and headers? So that's what I said. I was specifically focusing on the strategies. What do they do, or what they need to do, these leaders they need to do in order to achieve that improvement on rural areas. And the procedures I used was a semi-structured interviews were used with a predetermined questions while interacting with participants by asking them a follow-up questions and requesting more elaborations through the web video chats. Because like I said, I had three business leaders, and to them it was, because I live in the United States and they are there, so I did all the coordination with them, finding time until we got the time that worked with both of us, because I know some of the interviews I did at 2 in the morning, but it was convenient to them and I need that information from them, so that's what had to happen. And the participants in this study were the 3 mobile technology business leaders from 3 major mobile technology companies who were heavily involved in the building and improving the mobile technology infrastructure and strategies in the United Republic of Tanzania. I'm not saying that they were not working on it, they were trying to do it, but I came in with the view that why is not happening, because mobile technology has been there for years. So what is the holdup that was making them not moving fast enough? And the data I collected, I analyzed them from those interviews. I used NVivo 12 software for analysis, and I used Microsoft tools such as Word, Excel to color code, correlate, develop, and identify the themes that related to the study that I was working with. Next slide, please. Now it comes to the findings. The findings of this study revealed that the rural farmers and headers could utilize the technology infrastructure implemented into their areas to help them remain sustainable, thereby adding revenue to their local economies. So that is one of the things that I found out that it's true. This technology is really important for them to have it, because that could improve what the businesses they were doing over there. And the business leaders may also find the study's theme also helpful when they improving mobile technology infrastructures to other businesses such as fishing, construction, finance, and rural areas. I focus on these 2 areas, just like I said, so I'm not going off topic. But what I was planning with is to make the study more specific and more specific to the areas. So that's why I picked the farmers and headers. But the same philosophy that I came up with, or I understood from these leaders, I saw that it is the same information. They can be used in the fishing, they can be used in the constructions, or even financing it on these rural areas. All those areas I saw that they're really important for them to get it, And the findings that I found from my study, I thought they will help that as well. Next slide, please. Okay, so now the interpretation. After collecting the data, analyze it, put it all together, massage it, and come up with something that can be valuable from the conversations and the data that I collected from these companies. I came up with three themes, and these three themes, they will help mobile technology business leaders to create the foundation of the future for improvements. The first one, the theme I come up with was the cost of technology. I found out that it's really costly. It's really costly to make these improvements to rural areas, and I realized that just one company, it's not going to be possible just to pick to one company to do all the infrastructure improvements to these rural areas. So what they need to do, I thought that they could make if they could get together, and then that will help them. That will help them as well. But at the time when I was talking to individual these mobile communication business leaders, they were telling them what their philosophy is, what their strategies are, and I saw that it comes to be the cost of the resources to make those improvements. It is a major hurdle. And another one is the infrastructure implementation plan. What the plans these companies they had. These companies they had a tremendous plans in paper, but to transform that to actual reality, they have to walk in a really fine line. We are talking about the third world countries here. There are so many challenges they have to go through for that. I can mention like the biggest one. It might be with the political side of the equation. You know, most of them over there is their corruption, and then there is that few people in the government that they have power. So in a snap of a finger, one big political person can halt the entire improvement. So I understood how these business leaders, they have to walk a really fine line, not disturbing in either side. They have to have their strategies moving at the same time, make the political side of the equation satisfied as well, so it can move forward. And that costs the plan time, resources, and the overall implementation. And the third one is the training and development. Once they put that infrastructure in place, then it comes to training the users and training and developing the users. Most of these rural areas, people, they are not accustomed, or they're not coming across technology most of the time. So how do they have to do that? So it's going to be a responsibility of these mobile technology companies to train them on how to utilize the technology that will be implemented in their areas. So implementation of these three themes, I think, will help the entire industry and utilize the mobile technology and close that gap between the rural and urban areas, because I see the urban metropolitan areas, they do enjoy these technologies, but the rural areas, they are not. And like I said earlier, that we do depend on the rural areas for urban areas to exist. So why not giving them that opportunity for them also to come up and being more productive on the overall societies. Like anything else, when I went through that, I found I saw that there was some limitations as well. And the biggest one that I saw was the participants were limited on this mobile technology. Like I said, I had to be specific with the mobile business leaders, with the mobile technology sector on a specific country. But overall, I probably could get more from different countries. But like I said, on my research, varying the time and resources, I focus on one country with the three companies. So that can be different if somebody else if somebody else can do something more than United Republic of Tanzania. And also, participants might not have been willing to share all the strategic decisions for fear of disclosing information to their competitors. I noticed this a lot because there was one leader. I scheduled about 90 minutes. That's the initial time when I requested the meeting with them. But there was one we went up to 4 hours because he was that passionate about it, and we talked a lot with that. I had my pre questions to ask, and then we went way past that. So when past that, as I was going through the whole follow-up questions, and it's something I noticed that it may talk and then it get to the point he kind of generalized the information. And I noticed that there's that big competition between companies, so they didn't want to give out all the information they have to me, fearing that it might land to their competitors. In a business sense, I understood it and I respected that. I tried to pry a lot more than that, but that is as far as I got. So coming back and writing on my paper, that's why I had to put that as a limitation, because I believed I could get more than what they provided. On the recommendation side is see the business leaders, they could join efforts and raise more funds to build needed infrastructure in and around the affected areas. This is what I said, that just one company, it's going to be difficult for them to reach all the rural areas. So if they could join forces and being together to go through the strategies together and then move forward, I believe that they will reach way farther than just going individually. And also, mobile technology companies, they need to offer incentives and opportunities to local farmers and headers to buy company shares. I see they do this quite a little bit, but it's not far enough, or letting them know that that is something that these farmers and headers, they can feel part of the plan, because there is that mentality that a big company, it will come from town, from the cities, come to their villages, just install their resources there, and then just getting money. So to them, engaging those local farmers and headers with incentives, shares, if it could be any local leadership roles, just to make them feel that they are part of the company, I believe that could go further. And also, business leaders, they should maintain open communication with local farmers and headers. Not every decision had to come from a corporate office. If there is an office somewhere in the village where those farmers and headers they reside, then it should be their responsibility, or it should be for them to make some kind of decisions, not just waiting for the corporate office to give them information. So I believe that should be one of the recommendations, that they need to engage those local areas to be part of the company. Social change implications. On this, improving access to mobile technology infrastructure to provide strategies for improving socioeconomic outcomes in and among poor rural farmers and headers communities. They need that to make changes. They need they need that technology to make communication between one another. They don't have to. It is past time now just to have a communication between one village to another. Somebody had to walk like a half a day just to send a communication somewhere else. They need to have that type of communication, this type of mobile infrastructure there, so it can reduce that, and people, they can use that time to be more productive on the activities that they do, instead of losing time making trips like that. Next slide, please. Okay, these are the references. I had tons of references here, but these are just quite a few references. These two references, they directly focus on the stuff that I went through here, because the actual research was about 150 pages. So I picked these because these are the type of things that I specifically mentioned on that. I didn't paraphrase it and things to that nature. So that's why they're here. And next slide, please. Okay, on the final remarks, the focus I want to have, the focus was for the farmers and herders, because I believe once we give farmers and herders a well-functioning mobile device, that one farmer or herder, just that one mobile device, and to be functional, just that farmer and herder, they can coordinate with other stakeholders in getting a good area of cultivation. They don't have to rely on archaic methods of figuring out where to cultivate, because all the informations now we know. I mean, we people that we use smartphones now, we know all the information you can get on your smartphone. So why not giving them that over there so they can have that information as well, because they need that in their businesses. So if they can have it, I believe that they can coordinate with other stakeholders, between themselves, with other neighboring villages and things to that nature, so they can improve their cultivation. And also to have the device, just that cell phone again. That smartphone, it does not have to be, it can be an iPad or anything, just as long as it is mobile. They can use that to look for farming resources, such as medicines, fertilizer, and other farming tools. They don't have to rely on a vendor coming in telling them what's in the market. They need to have that information. They can make those decisions themselves. They can look which one works better, which one looks better, works better, or it can is more affordable for what they're trying to do. These are type of the information that they needed there, so they can make those decisions. They can make those decisions by themselves. And also, they need to be able to be able to get the accurate weather. The weather advisory data that can be used on picking which type of crop to work on which area at what season, or for the herders to focus on what type of animals at what topographical area. That one as well, they require data. They require it requires information to make those kind of decisions. My philosophy when it came in is asking these business leaders with their strategies, because I was looking on the farmer side as well, on the customer side as well, because I see that just that device, it can be really functional on their side and be able to make those decisions. So because we know there's some tribes, they move around a lot. So now they move around like that because they have their old ways of doing things. Sometimes it works, sometimes it might not. So why not having the technology that it can be assured at the time when they make their move? So they know that this time of the season, we can go to a specific area and it will be more profitable. If we move it from here, if we go to a farm somewhere else, then we can get more. Out of our crops, because it's going to rain more on that area compared to the other. All that requires technology, and also they can coordinate with vendors about their markets of their products. We know now the prices. Most of these crop prices, especially on third world countries, the prices have been set somewhere else, not the farmer. The vendor comes in the farm and tell them that this is the price that we're going to buy from you. And the farmer, with a lack of that information, they don't have any choice. They have to sell that so they can feed their family, so they can get prepared for the next season of cultivation. So why not giving them that information? They can have the same information that vendor coming in with. So when they sit down and discuss about the prices, both sides, they have the same information to make a mutual agreement. instead of just the vendor coming in and telling them that this time around we're going to buy you with a certain price. So I believe that in extending the mobile technology infrastructure to those areas, it will help farmers on that avenue as well. And also even just to have a wider view on learning about their lives and different choices. That one as well, just for them as a human being, because they don't matter, or they don't mean or matter less because they live in the rural areas compared to the people that live in metropolitan areas. So why demeaning them, not affording them that type of information, so they can make calls, so they can get all the information like everybody else. So in collecting both of those scenarios, I believe that we can improve the life of a regular farmer or a herder in a village and be able to be a functional member of the society. Because the more information they will get is the more information they will use to do their businesses there. And then that will be profitable on the urban areas as well, because we'll get more products, we'll get more resources, we'll get more of the stuff that we've always depend with the farmers, herders, and their choices. So that concludes with this research, and that is as far as I went with it. And I believe that this research, it can be used for other areas, like I said, because there's a whole different fishing industry as well, which is really big on rural areas. I didn't touch that because, kind of like I said, trying to focus on a specific topic that it can help me to come to conclusion. So reaching there, thank you very much. I appreciate for your time, and I welcome any questions you may have.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Dr. Ali. We can tell how passionate you are on this subject. We do have some questions that have come in. Just a reminder, if you have any questions for our speaker, please feel free to post those in the chat, and we will answer as many as we can in the time allowed. So our first question is from Richard. What applications on the mobile tech offer the most promise for these small businesses?
Hello, I didn't get the part of the question again.
Well, let me repeat that. I hope you can hear me okay.
Okay.
Richard asked, what applications on the mobile tech offer the most promise for these small businesses?
On application, speaking of applications, I believe that you mean those software applications that the mobile technology can offer with that. As of now, I'm not in the liberty, or I didn't inform those companies that I will mention them because of the confidentiality I signed with them. But some companies, they do have some applications that they're trying to launch over there. But my focusing was not just to pick on one application or how it will help. My focusing was the overall framework of the infrastructure. It needs to go to these rural areas. So I know if we have that in place, I talked about the weather. I know there's going to be a lot of applications that will help with the weather. I know there will be a financing. I know it's going to be a lot of them that will focus on that as well. So those are the possibilities I see they can help them. So my focus of the study was building the framework of the infrastructure that can carry all of that. I hope I did answer your question.
Excellent. We have some more questions coming in. Allison asked, as a Tanzanian native, do you think it was easier for you to gain access to these business leaders and to gain their trust? If so, how can this study be replicated in other African countries with similar issues with mobile technology access and use?
I'm a Tanzanian native as well. It was challenging because I picked 3, but there's more than that. And some companies that I felt they could have helped me, it was more challenging than the other. And I'm glad that I tried to lobby around. Like I said, these are the third world countries. I'm not demeaning them, but that's the reality. It is there. The reality is what you can give me if I give you that. Yeah, it's just the transactional. And I try to approach them that, hey, I'm trying to study what is the problem here. So I'm glad that these major companies, they understood what I was trying to do. So it was not the easier, I may say, like maybe everybody else, but the persistence. You just, if you get somebody within the company or somebody that they can get in touch with you, just be consistent. If you be consistent sometimes, and be open, because there is the preconceived notion that why do you need this information? You're coming from outside and you're asking us this type of information. So my suggestion was, like, I was totally open. Like, hey, I'm doing this study. I'm in college right now. I'm trying to do this study, and this is the type of information I need. If you think something is really secretive for your company, you don't want to give me, that's fine. I respect that. But if you can if you can give me a scenario around that information you are hiding, it might help my information. So that kind of easy up that communication. It took me a while, but I was able to succeed on that. So I believe maybe doing that, because I did that in Tanzania, you can replicate that on a different countries, because I know the mentality is it's similar.
Excellent. I think, this kind of leads into another question we received. Michelle said, thank you for your interesting presentation. Were you able to share your findings with the business leader participants? And if so, what is their general response to your recommendations?
Yes, part of the agreement I had with them is I'll interview you. I will request some documentation, any paperwork you might have concerning with the conversation that we have. I will go and sit down, go through them, write them my report, and then send it back to you if it's okay. If it's okay, the way you answered me, it's just that we call it the member checking on a research process, that you give back to the member, and they go through that, and they're like, okay, this is what is correct. I said, I didn't say this. If I said this, then you need to take it out. I didn't mean to tell you something like that. So I went through that process until I finalized, and then I officially sent it to them and told them that this is what I will submit to my university for the record. So what do you think? So, and then they agree with it. So that is what the process I went through, and they were thrilled with it, because there were some of them, they were like, yeah, we understand this is the struggle. I'm glad that you capture it. Maybe if you will say it a little on a different angle, people they will understand more than what they're saying. Because most of these leaders, when they say everybody look this is just investor wants money out of it. So if we as researchers coming in or exposing that information on a different angle, especially on academic side of it, it might be received different. So they were excited about that they have been approached for a scientific study like mine. Thank you.
Excellent. We have another question here. Jennifer said, were there any collaborations with government officials to support the implementation of the technology expansion in the rural areas?
Yes, there were some collaboration. I got it from some of the leaders I speak with. Most of them, it might remain confidential, but what they told me was the government, they see the potential of the technology to reach on those rural areas. So they give them different incentives. Some of them, they give them tax breaks with the promise of using the tax money, investing back on those areas. So these companies, they utilize that. Instead of they get tax break here, they can, if they move their technology on the different, for different distance of the certain village. So they do have that direct communication with the government.
Wonderful. And you know what? She actually just posted a response. Okay, wow, that's good to know. Thank you. And thank you, Jennifer, for your wonderful question. We do have a few more minutes left in our session, so if you have any questions, please feel free to post those in the chat. We're happy to answer. And, you know, in the meantime, I have a question for you.
Okay.
What challenges did you face during your research, and how did you overcome them?
The challenge, the first one I can say it was the time zone, because where I was doing a research at and where the leaders were at, we're 8 hours. There's an 8-hour difference, so I had to work with them with their schedule because I'm the one needing the information. They have it, so it was that I went back and forth with trying to schedule with her because I reached as far as I could. I've been with a position wise. So, and the higher up you get, that person is more responsibility they have. That means it's less time to sit him down for an interview. So until we nail down the time, and then that is what I went with. And that, like I said, there was one I did at 2:30 in the morning, and I was okay with it. So it's just a whole you see a challenge, you find a solution around it, and it worked really well.
Excellent. You know, I think that leads perfectly into another question. And you know, what advice would you give someone just starting their research and maybe experiencing some of the challenges that you faced?
The first one is pick a topic. And pick a topic and be passionate about it. Don't pick a topic just you can live it after classwork. If you do that, it's going to be difficult about it. Like I said, I am an IT enthusiast. And so picking a technology business topic, it was kind of easier for me because that is what I am passionate about. So I was just not dropping off after school hours. So I will suggest that pick a topic that you're passionate about and then be consistent. Be consistent with it, and don't give up, or be satisfied if you come across the 2-3 articles. I read a ton of them. I even lost count. So it's just the whole one topic or one article, it will lead you to the other. It will lead to the other one. So just be persistent and be passionate about your topic. It will get you farther.
I think that's excellent advice. And I think we've seen throughout this whole presentation how passionate you are on this wonderful topic. Well, at this time, it doesn't look like we have any other questions. So I just want to thank everyone for joining us today.